Hi everyone, and welcome to another NGWA Industry Connected video. Today I'm with Marcus Laibe, President of Versadrill in Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome, Marcus. Thank you for your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you bet. Let's begin with 2020 and 2021. How did 2020 turn out for Versadrill, and how has 2021 been so far?
Yeah, the dreaded 2020, but weird year for sure. But I'm sure, like a lot of my customers have been saying, turned out to be a great year. It was surprising. Went into it with all the talk of the PPP loans, and everything going on, and being worried about it. And we were fortunate to have a really busy year, and this year has jumped right into the same thing. And we haven't had a January backlog for a long time. We usually go into the new year with a lot of possible customers and hoping to keep that going. And this year it was immediate, and we're almost even full for this year, figuring out ways to add more to make it happen. So yeah, feel very blessed, and to answer your question, went really well, and debuting new products and everything at the same time.
That brings me to the next question. Yeah, are you planning to debut anything new at Groundwater Week 2021 this December in Nashville?
Sure. Well, we're hoping to have another V2100 there, the newer model, or the redo of that model. And then we're hoping, just depending on how far we get this year, to maybe we won't have anything new there per se, but we'd like to, I guess I'm not going to say too much, but kind of introduce maybe another upcoming product in the upcoming year of 2022-23.
Okay.
So maybe that's just a tease, but yeah, looking forward to maybe starting to talk about the next step.
Great. And looking back to June of 2020, you had a V12 demo day with 25 people in attendance, and 3 walked away as new owners of a V12. What type of feedback did you receive from the demo day, and what did you do with it? And is there another demo day in the works?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the feedback was great. Naturally, having 3 sales come from a demo day is exciting. So it definitely pushed us to want to do more. Not to use the COVID excuse, but we've kind of not done anything or set anything up yet. We do have a field day coming up here that we're doing for the Indiana Groundwater Association, which will be good. So that's more local, but it was a good turnout, and people really liked it. So we'd like to do more like that if we can make it work. But at the moment, nothing planned yet, but we'll make sure and let you guys know and post about it.
Sure. Yeah, we appreciate that. And regarding the V12, it features an operator's panel with electronic controls in place of hydraulic controls. Curious, what are the most common questions you get with electronic controls?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we've actually had really good feedback. When we started with that, we were a little worried, but I think with the world of iPads and iPhones kind of taking over, we had great feedback from it. Most questions were just kind of like, how do I fix this, or what do I do with it? So, it's always kind of good to get that question, because people think they're going to be cutting up wires and everything, but everything is really plug and play and easy to replace, easy to troubleshoot. There's redundancies in the controls as well, where say, if they're worried about the switch pack, which we knew they would, not working, you could still control it from the computer screen itself. So mostly everybody just wanted to know, what do I do with this? It's a hands-on market, or guys are really good at fixing things, and they want to be able to do it themselves. And it's just kind of understanding that maybe the approach is different. You don't need to be splicing it. A switch pack is very cheap. Just take it out, plug in the new one, and everything goes, and you're back to working. So that's been the most questions about it. And then otherwise, they really love the feel, the lights that kind of indicate, it's on, it's off, problem, no problem. So far, good feedback.
Great. And the V12 is also the most compact rig in the Versadrill fleet and doesn't require a CDL license to drive it, a plus for many in the water well industry. What are your thoughts on the future of more compact rigs in our industry?
Sure. Yeah, that's always kind of been Versadrill's goal from the start, kind of how we became, with when we were introducing, or when we were selling the IR product, you know, it was always a great product, but it was more the thought of this big rig can be used in this field. So that's absolutely the future always, and what we strive for is a more compact rig with more power. The CDL part has naturally been huge because employees are a big thing right now. You know, everybody has the work out there now, and they have the equipment, you know, but then they need somebody to operate it. So any way to cut around more requirements for employees, like needing a CDL, is definitely a bonus for our customers. And then naturally, just kind of the ability to get in somebody's yard and not destroy it, or these lake lots and things. We just thought, man, if we could get close to that power we have on our bigger rigs and something like that. So technology is really providing that with lightening the rigs and creating more power. So that's the path we're going to continue on best we can.
Okay. Great. And Versadrill also recreated its V2000 next gen model with what is now called the V2100. Can you tell us about the recreation and the reasons for it?
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of our best products. It still is. The big thing there, why we even kind of quote unquote discontinued it, was, you know, we had these industrial engines in them that kept them really open to the market. People really liked them. They were simple, but naturally with emissions and everything's changing, we weren't able to buy those anymore, and the price kept going up. So we were able to partner up with Crane Carrier Corporation to recreate that for us with the Cummins engine, the QSX 15, and it's been really great to work with that. And naturally, if you're gonna go with a new product, and we already developed the Mark 70, we thought, let's bring it back out with more power and try to lighten it. We were able to, with modern technology again, cut the capacity of the hydraulic tank in half, which was huge for weight savings. You know, the controls, we went with the electronic controls, or kind of 50-50 on this one. And yeah, so again, just the things happen in the world and changes, and you adapt to it. And I think we ended up with a much better product than before.
Mm-hmm. And your company is known for its quick customer service and having the popular parts inventory well stocked. Regarding your parts inventory, how has the pandemic impacted how you evaluate your inventory?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it has impacted and made it very difficult. Fortunately, we were just hoping, we had such a great year last year that we invested in this year in buying product, and we really, I think it happened right before we got hit. I mean, now we're seeing lead times double and even triple. So we're just going to continue to invest the money we make on the rigs into buying more, because that's how we win hearts and minds. We find is, you know, they're in the field, the customer, they need to have the product there, or building new rigs. I mean, when we're saying right now that we're quoting out 6 months, it's because we have 6 months of rigs to build, not we're waiting for parts to come in to build these rigs. So, you know, having parts, I think, is going to forever be a problem with the world we're in. And so investing in product, having it on the shelf is the way to go. That's how we feel. So, yes.
Yeah. Great. Well, and speaking of guys in the field, as we speak here in late April, what have you heard most from contractors from 2020 and thus far in 2021?
Sure. Kind of the same as us. I mean, a lot of smiles and surprises. They were surprised to be busy, but they're just at the point where they need the equipment. They've held onto their rigs long enough. Some of the support they've got from maybe other manufacturers, other things, hasn't been there, and they're ready to just focus on work and being in the field and making money. So, but like I said, they've been surprised and worried, but they're sick of being worried. The work is there, so they're going for it.
And just lastly, what have you personally learned about conducting business during this pandemic in 2020 and into 2021? And have there been any specific resources that you found to be helpful?
Sure. Kind of like I've touched base on, I mean, the biggest thing I've learned is having the parts available is good in any situation. I mean, even in a pandemic where things are low, you're able to utilize that time to build stock equipment, and just always investing in the customer is how I see that. I mean, with us having parts here, it's keeping who's already in the field working. It's keeping us able to react quickly to new sales or new situations. So, with 2020 being scary and deciding to go ahead and spend a lot of money on inventory going into 2021, it panned out. So that's what I learned is stay with that path and that mindset of keep it here and the customers will come.
Well, this has been great. Thanks again for all the information, Marcus, and your time today. Really
yeah,
appreciate
absolutely. Thanks, Mike and NGWA and everybody, and wish everybody the best in health.